What's going on, guys? It's Aston Edmonds with Health and Wellness. And I've been getting a lot of questions recently asking what program I run or what programs I recommend. Now, if your goal is strength training or pursue powerlifting or just get stronger for a specific sport, there are plenty of well-known programs out there that are very effective and very easy to use. All you have to do is plug in your 1 rep max and it gives you the exact weight rep sets from day to day, week to week, month to month, progressing you and getting you super strong. Now, the problem arises is when people tell me that their goal is bodybuilding or to look better or to pursue bodybuilding and powerlifting. And it's because there are not really any good programs out there for bodybuilders unless you hire a specific coach to do your programming for you. And so typically with a bodybuilding program, it's just a list of exercises with reps and sets. And so I created a program that is a properly periodized program meant for increasing both your muscle size and your strength. So bodybuilding and powerlifting all mixed into one. And I tried to make it as user-friendly as possible and as customizable as possible while still keeping the program, the program. So basically you can pick your different exercises, type in your maxes, and it gives you the exact reps and sets to do throughout the 4-week cycle. So let's take a look. Alright, so when you download the program, it's going to come with 2 files, a Word document and an Excel spreadsheet. I recommend all of you opening up the Word document. This is going to be the program overview, and it's going to run through everything that you need to know about the program and prevent any questions that you're going to have. So if we look over it really quickly, it goes over a lot of different things: periodization, how the program is set up, how you should progress on the periodized list and the non-periodized lists, what rest times you should be using, and it explains a little bit about the optional exercises and how to tailor the program to your specific experience level. A little information on how to print the program if you want to take it into the gym with you, because you do need to change some things. Briefly mentions nutrition, restarting the program, and then of course some links down below. One of which is to the 1 rep max calculator that I recommend if you do not know it, because you will need that information to set the program up. Now when we open up the Excel spreadsheet, it starts off on the first page, which is the exercise selection page or building your own program. So if you notice, there are slots for exercises on the left. As an example, the primary back movement, secondary back movement, primary chest movement, and next to these are drop-down lists. And so you can select which exercise you like from that list to fill that slot. If you don't like any of those, you can just type in an exercise that you'd prefer. Although the way the program is set up, when you open it up, those are the exercises that I recommend. I found those have worked best for me, and they fit together nicely in the program. Now, if you notice some of the exercises, for instance, over here the Spoto press says optional primary assistance. Now, I highly recommend on your first couple rounds of the program that you do not do the optional exercises. The reason I put the optional exercises in here is for people that are more advanced and they need higher volume in order to get stronger or in order to progress. I myself am not even doing the optional exercises. The only ones that I do is I do the optional bicep and the optional tricep, just because doing an extra couple sets of curls and push downs isn't going to hinder any recovery, but doing an extra 3 sets on a compound bench press or for instance, there's the optional deadlift assistance. Those can hinder your recovery. So I recommend most people not doing the optional exercises. I don't do them myself. It's just to allow more advanced people to get something out of the program. So then we go to the next page, which is the entry page. Here, all the lifts on the left will change based off of the lifts that you picked on the previous page. Then what we want to do is enter our maxes for the given lifts. If you don't know your maxes, I recommend going to the website linked on the program overview and estimating them. If you have never even performed a lift, for instance, maybe you haven't done bent over rows in a long time, and so basically you're just guessing, I recommend putting in your guess and then subtracting 10 to 20 pounds off that weight. That way you don't overshoot your projected 1 rep max. Once you enter your maxes, weeks 1 through 4 at the bottom will automatically enter in the weight that you're supposed to use for the primary and secondary movement. So we'll take a look at week 1 now. As you can see, bent over row is entered, bench press is entered, squats are entered, deadlifts are entered based on your 1 rep max. And now you're looking and you see some orange boxes. Basically what this is your secondary movements are periodized as well, but they're not periodized based off of a 1 rep max. So what you want to do is during week 1 you go into the gym and it says for neutral grip pull-ups, it says do 3 sets of 15. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to pick your own weight that you can do for 3 sets of 15, come back, enter that weight in the orange box, and then it's going to change and automatically put in the weight for the next 3 weeks. So for instance, we'll put in that I did 150 pounds on pull downs, and then we go to week 2, scroll up, and we notice that it changes the weight to 162 pounds. If we scroll through the weeks, all the information that we need is entered. A lot of you are probably wondering how come there's only information entered in a couple of the lifts, and that's because not all of the lifts are periodized. It would be a little silly to periodize, something like bicep curls or rear delt flies, just because it's a little unnecessary and you can progress on those pretty easily by just adding reps. But once again, all that information is explained in the program overview. So now let's take a look at how the program is actually set up. So it's a pull push legs off program, and there are hypertrophy days and strength days. So we start off on day 1 with a pull hypertrophy day. Now what this means is the reps are higher. Then we move on to the push strength day. So this is lower reps on our pushing movements. Leg days, which are split up into quad strength, ham hypertrophy, and then quad hypertrophy, hamstring strength. So now we move on to pull strength, then push hypertrophy, and then legs, quad hypertrophy, hamstring strength. So let's just take a look at pull hypertrophy, and we're going to take a look at how it's periodized across the 4 weeks. So if we notice, the first 2 exercises are both 3 sets of 15. And if we move on to week 2, we notice that changes. The primary movement is periodized in a daily undulating fashion, which means it follows no progression scheme. It just changes from week to week. And then the secondary movement, the neutral grip pull-ups, are periodized in a linear fashion, which means the reps go down as the weeks go on and the weight goes up. Moving on to week 3, we notice it changes once again to 3 sets of 12, followed by 3 sets of 10. Then on week 4, 3 sets of 10, followed by 3 sets of 8. And that is basically the progression scheme for the hypertrophy days. The first 2 movements are periodized. Now let's take a look at the push strength day and how that is periodized as well. So we notice it starts off with 4 sets of 6 on week 1, moving into 6 sets of 2. Then on week 3, 3 sets of 4. And then finally on the final week, you work up to a 5 rep max. And what this is going to do, we're then going to use that 5 rep max to estimate our new max, to plug back into the entry page and give us our weights for the next cycle. Now, this is a 4-week program, but it's really intended to be run multiple times. The first time you run the program is probably going to be the hardest, just because you're estimating some of the weights on your lifts and you just haven't gotten into the groove. So basically it's going to become better and better the more you run it, just because you're really going to nail down some of the lifts. Like for instance, I'm on week 1 right now, and I way overestimated my bent over barbell row. So the first couple days were pretty tough, but then I scaled back the weight to more accurately represent my 1 rep max. Alright, so I zoomed it out so you can see every single day within week 1. That way you can kind of take a look, see how the program is laid out. Also, if anybody is just interested in using the exercise order and rep schemes, feel free to do so, because I have been getting questions on what program, and sometimes people don't actually want a periodized program, they just want a list of exercises and reps and sets. So if that's all you want, take a look now. This is pretty much it. For anyone interested in actually trying out this program, getting their hands on the Excel spreadsheet and the program overview, I'm going to put my email address on the screen now. It's also going to be in the video description. So if you are interested, send me an email, and then I will send you the spreadsheet and the Word document. Basically, we have to do it this way because I do not yet have a website set up, so I can't, I don't have anywhere to put it. And just know that if you do decide to, try out this program, it is still in the, beta test version. I'm going to use the feedback I get from people who try it for the first round to correct any mistakes. So say a day is way too hard or way too easy, I'll use your feedback to correct it, make it, the appropriate intensity, and fix any changes that, are common problems. So once again, if you are interested in this program, send me an email. It's on the screen now, link in the description, and I'll send that out to you. The only thing I do ask is you send me feedback, based on your experience with the program. That way I can adjust it and make it better for the full release.